Good morning, District 50.
Good morning.
Sounds like some of you are about to wake up. Good morning, District 50.
Good morning.
All right. I've got a question for you. Do you know what your Toastmaster SuperPower is?
No.
No? Good question. Good question, Steve. By the time you leave here today, I want you to know your Toastmaster SuperPower, or at least know how to figure out what your Toastmaster SuperPower is, and then take that Toastmaster SuperPower back into your clubs, back into your areas, back into your districts, and let's rock this thing. Has anybody ever read this book, Start With Why, by Simon Sinek? A couple of people. Anybody ever heard of Simon Sinek? Simon Sinek, this book is an amazing book. If you love to read, I highly recommend you check this book out. Read it. Great book. If you're not such a big reader, then invest 18 minutes on YouTube and watch his TED Talk about starting with why. It's time well spent. It's life-changing and transformational. I encourage you to do that. In Simon Sinek's book, he talks about this thing called a golden circle. I don't know why he calls it a golden circle, because there's actually 3 circles. The first circle that he starts with is the what. Let me read you his tagline here. How great leaders inspire everyone to take action. What Sinek says is when you start with this first circle in the golden circle, the what, that's where most leaders start. We know what we need to do. As Toastmasters, we know what we need to do. We joined a club. We gave an icebreaker. We learned how to click. We learned how to evaluate. We learned how to table talk. We got our CC, our CL, maybe an advanced leadership or advanced communication award. Maybe we took on a district office. Those are all whats. The second circle in that Sinek talks about is how. Everything that we do in Toastmasters has a how. If you don't know how to do an icebreaker, you look in the book. The instructions are there. If you don't know how to be a table topic master, there's a process for that. Everything we do has a process. You want to compete in a contest? There's a process. There's a how. Every what in Toastmasters has a how. And that is how most people approach things, approach life, approach processes, approach accomplishment, inside and outside of Toastmaster. Most of them do it. I want to encourage you to take Sinek's advice and flip that process. The first circle is what, the second circle is how, and inside of that third circle lies your Toastmaster SuperPower. It's simple. It's a 3-letter word. It's one word. It is your why. The why causes you, helps you, supports you, motivates you to go through the how to accomplish the what. With a big enough why, the how and the what are simple. They're easy. They pretty much take care of themselves. How many club presidents do we have in here? And club officers in here? What's your job as a club president? Job number 1 as a club president, to take your club to distinguished status, right? We all know what it is. We all know how to do it. You need a couple of CCs. You need a couple more CCs. You need a CL or an Advanced Leadership Award. You need another one of those. You need to bring in 4 members, new. You need to bring in 4 new members. You need to get your officer list in on time. You need to get your dues in on time. And you need to get to TLI, at least 4 of your officers, right? Twice a year. Those are the checks. Those are the boxes that needed to be checked to become, at least 5 of those, to become distinguished. Those are all whats. How do you, as a president of a club, motivate your club to take part in that program? The only way you can do it is with the why, with the Toastmaster SuperPower. Now, I'm going to take a liberty here, and even though it's unsanitary, I'm going to put words in your mouth. I'm going to ask you a rhetorical question. You don't need to answer it because I'm going to answer it after I ask it. Why do people join Toastmasters in the first place? Why do they come to that initial meeting and then eventually decide to become a Toastmaster? Well, the answers that I hear, and I ask this question every single week at To Change You. We have 1 to 4 to 6 guests every single week, and I ask every one of them, why are you here? Why did you come here? And I hear things like, well, my boss suggested that I check out Toastmasters. Or, I want to become more confident in speaking in front of my team, or my company, or my board of directors. I want to conquer this fear of public speaking. Those are great. But my question is, why are you here? Not what. All of those things are whats. How do you distinguish between a what and a why? Well, a why touches your emotion. It comes from your soul. Why did you join Toastmasters? Well, it was so that I could present to my customers better. Why? Every what deserves a why. Why? Why do you want to do that? Well, so I can make more money. So I can get promoted and make more money. Why? Well, so that I can buy a safer vehicle for my family. So that I can save for retirement. So that I can support my kids. So that I could support my parents. So that I could give to charity. Those are the why. Those items are the Toastmaster SuperPower. Now that SuperPower works everywhere, but where are we today? We're at TLI, so I'm talking about Toastmasters. The why, if the why is big enough and the why is strong enough, then the how and the what are simple. Presidents, we want to get to distinguished. My friend and mentor Zig Ziglar said, you can get anything in life that you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. You want to become distinguished or president's distinguished? Do you know you can achieve president's distinguished in 6 months? It's possible. I've seen it with my own eyes in the past 6 months. Our club did it. Because we have a culture, we've developed a culture in our club of focusing on the why, not just the what, not just checking the boxes, but focusing on the why. Why are you here? What do you want to accomplish in your life? What do you want to accomplish outside of Toastmasters that we can help you with right here inside of this club? My fellow Toastmasters, my fellow leaders in Toastmasters, we've got to focus on the why. We've got to focus on the why. Now, there's a famous French author, and Marc-Andre, out of respect to you, I am not going to try to pronounce his name. I looked this guy up on YouTube, I Googled him, I did everything I could do to try to figure out how to pronounce his name. Now, I found some YouTube videos that pronounced his name, but they were all French people and they talk really fast and I can't do it, so I'm not going to butcher it. But while his name is important, it's not as important here today as what he said. You want a successful club? You want to grow your club? You want to take your club to President's Distinguished? You want to do it in 6 months? Here's what this author said. He said, if you want to build a ship, you don't go out and round up men and ask them to go collect wood, divide up tasks, and pass out commands. What you do is you instill in them a burning desire for the vast, endless seas. My fellow leaders in Toastmasters, that's exactly what we have got to focus on. I encourage you to go back out into your clubs, your areas, and your districts, and begin to not focus on checking boxes, not focus on filling roles. Focus on the individual's Toastmaster superpower. In conclusion, 3 things that I talked about earlier. Number 1, I want you to leave here today understanding what your own personal Toastmaster superpower is. If that is not possible today, if you don't get there today, that's okay. Make a commitment. Number 2, make a commitment to making that happen. And number 3, take that concept and make it a culture in your clubs, in your areas, in your district. Sonia, wouldn't it be awesome? Wouldn't it be awesome to have 200 clubs that all hit President's Distinguished by December?
Yeah, it'd be awesome to have 200 clubs, too.
Well, we're going to get there. I mean, we're going to get there. I was at 2, and I know there was at least 3 new clubs, working on charters this week, and then there's another one next week. So I know we're going to get there. But it's not just about getting new clubs, and it's not just about getting them to President's Distinguished. It's about imagine the impact that 200 clubs with 30 people each, 6,000 Toastmasters who all understand what their superpower is. Imagine the impact, not just in their club, not just in this district, but imagine the impact in the businesses, in the churches, in the homes, in our area. Imagine the impact of that. My fellow Toastmasters, let's rock this thing. Let's make this thing happen. Madam District Director.